Hey everyone, and welcome back to the JJ English Podcast, your warm and friendly space to unlock English step by step together. I'm really glad you're here today because this episode is for people who feel tired. Tired of studying, tired of starting and stopping, tired of feeling guilty about English. And if that's you, you're not alone.
Hey everyone. Yeah, this is one of those topics where people usually feel relief just hearing the title.
Exactly. Because today we're not talking about studying English. We're talking about using English every day without studying. And I know that sounds strange at first.
Yeah, a lot of people hear that and think, wait, how can I use English if I don't study?
Right, because for many learners, English only exists in one place: a book, a class, or a study app. And when life gets busy, English disappears.
And then the guilt shows up.
Yes, that voice that says, I didn't study today, I didn't practice, I'm falling behind.
That voice is very loud for a lot of people.
I want to say something important right away. If you don't study English every day, that does not mean English is not part of your life.
And it definitely doesn't mean you're failing.
Let me ask you something, Jim, very honestly. Do you think about English every day?
Hmm. Yeah, I do. But not in a study way.
Exactly. And that's the point. A lot of English happens quietly, in the background, without a notebook, without exercises.
And people don't count that as learning.
Think about this. You check your phone, you see words in English, you scroll, you read a message, you hear a song, you watch a short video. That's English.
But people say, oh, that doesn't count. I didn't study.
Yes, and that belief is very heavy because it makes people feel like English only exists when they suffer a little.
Like English has to hurt to be real.
I remember talking to someone who said, I don't have time to learn English. I work all day. But then they told me they listen to music in English, they watch shows in English, they follow people on social media in English. And I thought, English is already in your life.
It's just not wearing a study label.
And that's what we want to talk about today: how English can be part of your day without being another task on your to-do list.
Without a schedule, without pressure.
Let's slow down for a second here. If you're listening right now and thinking, I don't study English anymore, I want you to try a different sentence. Instead of saying, I don't study English, try saying, I don't study English the traditional way.
That small change matters.
Because studying is only one way to connect with a language, and for adults, busy adults, tired adults, it's often not the best way. Using English is much lighter than studying English. Let me share something personal. There was a time when English was something I scheduled. I had to sit down, open a book, focus, and if I didn't do that, I felt bad.
Like you broke a promise to yourself.
Exactly. But later, English became something else, something that just lived with me. I thought in English sometimes. I talked to myself in English. I reacted in English. No plan, no timer.
And that's when it became natural.
Here's something we don't say enough. You don't need a study session to use English.
You just need moments.
Moments like waiting in line, walking somewhere, doing the dishes, lying in bed, those moments already exist in your day.
You don't need to create new time.
And in those moments, English can be very simple, very small. You don't need full sentences. You don't need explanations. Sometimes English is just a thought.
Or a feeling.
For example, you wake up and think, I'm tired. That's English. You look outside and think, it's cold today. That's English.
And that's already using the language.
Let's do something very light here. Not a big exercise, just a moment. If you're listening, you can say this quietly or just think it.
No pressure at all.
I'm tired.
Again, softly. I'm tired. That sentence is part of real life. You don't need a book for that.
This is the big idea of this episode. English doesn't need to be something you add to your life. It can be something you notice in your life.
And once you notice it, it grows.
So before we move on, let's pause. If English feels heavy right now, maybe it's because you're trying to carry it like homework.
But English can also be light.
English shows up naturally during the day, and you can gently invite it in without changing your routine.
No studying, just living.
Because I know what some people are thinking. They're saying, okay, I like the idea, but what does this look like in real life?
Yeah, people want something they can actually do, not just feel good about.
Exactly. So let's go a little deeper now. Let's talk about real moments, normal moments, moments you already have. One of the easiest ways to use English every day is something people almost never think about: talking to yourself.
Yeah, and that sounds strange at first.
It does, but everyone talks to themselves. They just don't do it in English.
And it doesn't have to be out loud.
For example, you're getting ready in the morning. You think, I'm late. I need coffee. Where's my phone? That's English.
Those are real thoughts. You already have them.
You don't need to create new sentences. You just change the language.
That's what makes it easy.
Here's a small suggestion, not a rule. Pick one moment of your day, just one. Maybe the morning, or when you're walking somewhere, or before bed.
And in that moment, let English show up a little.
For example, when you walk outside, you can think, it's hot today, or it's raining.
That's it. No grammar check, no correction.
Let's slow down and try one together, just to feel it.
No pressure.
It's a nice day.
Again, calmly. It's a nice day. That sentence fits anywhere, any day.
Another very practical way to use English is with small reactions.
Reactions are huge.
You watch a video, you listen to music, you see something online, and instead of staying silent, you react, even just in your mind.
Like saying, oh, I like this, or that's interesting.
Exactly. Those reactions are real English, and they're short, which is perfect.
Short English is easy to repeat every day.
Let me give you a very real example. I was watching something the other day and I caught myself thinking, that's funny. That's it. 3 words.
But that moment counts.
And this is important. Using English every day is not about long conversations. It's about frequency.
A little, many times.
Another practical idea is using English when you're waiting. Waiting is everywhere. Waiting in line, waiting for food, waiting for a message.
And usually we just scroll.
Scrolling is fine, but you can add one tiny thing. While you wait, think one sentence in English about what's happening.
Like, this line is long, or I'm hungry.
Let's try one more very simple repeat here.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm waiting.
Again, I'm waiting.
That sentence fits real life perfectly. Now, let's talk about something many learners already do, but don't count: listening.
Listening is huge.
If you listen to English while doing something else, cooking, walking, cleaning, you are already using English.
even if you don't understand everything.
This is very important. So let's say it clearly. You don't need to understand 100%. You don't even need 70%.
Sometimes 30% is enough.
Your brain is still working. It's getting used to the sounds, the rhythm, the feeling of English.
That's real learning, even if it feels passive.
Here's another gentle suggestion. Choose one voice in English, one podcast, one channel, one person.
That makes things easier.
When you hear the same voice often, your brain relaxes. You start to recognize patterns. You feel more comfortable.
Comfort matters more than variety at the beginning.
Let's do a small simulated moment now. Imagine someone asks you, "Do you study English every day?"
I might say, not really, but I use it a little.
That answer is honest and it sounds natural. If someone asks, "How do you practice?"
I could say, I listen when I can. I think in English sometimes.
That's it. So if we pause here for a second, using English every day doesn't mean changing your life.
It means using the life you already have.
This mindset changes your confidence. It helps you stop feeling guilty, and English becomes something you live with, not something you chase.
That's where things really shift.
You know, listening to everything we've talked about so far, something really important shows up. A lot of people don't have an English problem, they have a guilt problem.
Yeah, they feel bad because they think they're not doing enough.
Exactly. They think, if I'm not studying, I'm not improving. And that thought alone makes English feel heavy.
Like something you're always behind on.
But here's something we really want you to hear. Progress in English is often invisible. You don't feel it day to day.
You notice it later.
You notice it when a sentence comes faster, when you don't translate as much, when you understand a little more without trying.
And you think, oh, when did that happen?
That's daily English working quietly. This is why using English every day works so well. Not because it's intense, but because it's gentle and constant.
And gentleness lasts longer.
Let's talk honestly for a moment. If you wait until you have motivation or free time or the perfect plan, English will always feel far away.
Because life doesn't slow down.
But if English becomes part of what you already do, thinking small thoughts, reacting, listening while living, then English stops being something extra.
It becomes familiar.
I really want to say this clearly. You are not lazy. You are not undisciplined. You are just human.
And humans learn better with comfort than pressure.
Let me ask you something, Jim. If someone uses English a little every day but never studies, what happens?
They still grow, slowly, naturally, because language is built through contact, not force.
And one day, without noticing, you start speaking more. You don't feel ready. You just respond.
That's how real confidence shows up.
There's another very real reason why people don't use English more often. And it's not time. It's not motivation. It's fear.
Yeah, fear of sounding wrong, fear of saying something strange.
A lot of learners are especially afraid to speak English in front of people who are more fluent. They think, they're going to notice my mistakes. They're going to hear my accent. They're going to judge me.
And because of that, they choose silence.
But here's something very important to understand. In real life, communication matters more than correctness.
Most fluent speakers are not listening for mistakes. They're listening for meaning.
If you say something a little wrong but people understand you, communication already happened, and that's success.
Fluency grows from communication, not from waiting to be perfect.
Everyone who speaks English well today once spoke English badly. There is no other path.
You don't skip that stage.
So, using English every day also means allowing yourself to be imperfect, to say something simple, to say something a little wrong, and to keep going.
That's how improvement actually happens.
And the funny thing is, when you focus on communicating instead of performing, people relax. Conversations flow better because real conversations are not exams.
So if you ever hesitate because someone sounds too fluent, remember this: they're not your judge. They're just another person in the conversation.
And if you're nervous, you can start with something small like, "Sorry, can I say it a simple way?" Or just, "Give me a second." That buys you time.
Remember, you belong in that conversation too.
Let's slow down for one last moment. If you're listening right now, I want you to think of one tiny way English already exists in your day. Maybe it's music, maybe it's videos, maybe it's thoughts in your head.
That already counts.
And if you want, you can add just one more small thing. One sentence, one reaction, one moment. Not because you should, but because it feels possible.
That's enough.
English doesn't need to be something you fight with. It can be something that walks with you.
Side by side.
And if this episode helped you, share it with someone who feels tired of studying English. Tell us in the comments, what's the biggest reason you don't use English more often?
Write it in simple English. Short is perfect. We'll read the comments. You're not alone.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us on the JJ English podcast.
We're really happy you're here, listening, and taking things at your own pace.
That's right. Tell us, in simple English, one small way English is already part of your day.
Take it slow. Be kind to yourself.
See you in the next episode.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and have fun learning English.